Hey guys, new day, and today we are going to be putting the decking down on this foundation that we put together yesterday and the day before. So basically cutting all the 4x4s to length to 10 foot. They're about a ½ inch longer. I think that's how they always come, even though they're spec'd at 10 foot. They're like 10.5. So I have a little setup over here. I didn't really want to put this on my stand because they're quite long and I probably would be fumbling around with them. So I just set up a little kind of spacer here so we're level on our saw. I marked out 10 foot and we're just going to cut all 5 of these, get those down, and then we got to cut the 16 footers for the 2x6s next. Also, I forgot to mention here, so this line that I dropped here is actually perfectly parallel with the back of our house, so that ensures that the front of the shed doesn't look skewed compared to the house. So it should be in line with the front and back of the house. So I'm going to set my first 4x4 based on that line, and I know that the front of the shed will be straight. I can skew the back as need be and the front just a smidge. I mean, even if it's like an inch off, you're probably not going to notice, but I want to try to be as accurate as possible. I know this line is parallel, so that's my reference point. All right, so for the spacing of these, because our 2x6 frame is going on top of these, and there's 5, if we space them all at 4 foot, that would give us 20 foot. So what happens here is I measure 4 foot from the first 4x4, but the outside or the front edge of the shed to the center of the second one, and then to the third and fourth. Those are 4 foot, and then the one on the far side should be 4 foot from the back of the shed or back side of the 4x4 to the middle of that one. All right, so we had to move a couple of the bricks in the back to get everything squared up. The 4x4s are overhanging a little bit. I must have miscalculated a little bit. My string must have been off on the back side or something, but I'm cutting the 2x6s for the rim joist right now. So we're cutting the 2x6x16s here. We're cutting these guys to 15 foot and 9 inch because the two 10 footers that we cut earlier are gonna stand up on top of that 4x4 and be flush with the front and the back of the shed. And these are gonna fit in between there. So 2x6, the nominal size is actually 1.5 inches So between the board in the front and the board in the back, we need to subtract both of those boards. So that's 3 inches. That's where we get our 15'9" dimension from. So I'm going through, I'm cutting 9 of these. So there's 2 for the outer and there's 7 inners. And once we get those cut, we can start boxing this in. All right, so we're gonna start with the back of the shed here. We're gonna stand this 2x6 by 10 up on the 4x4 by 10. And I'm gonna clamp it in place. And we will get our first 2x6 by 16 or 15'9", however you will. Going from that end to that end. We'll do the same on the other side, and then we'll put the front end in here. All right, so we have all our 2x6 joists in and screwed into place here. I'm just going through and securing them to the 4x4s in the middle here. I was gonna put some 2x6 blocking in, but because of the way they are here, I think I'm just gonna use these gusset clips here. I'm gonna use those on, that's how I attach this outside rim joist to the 4x4s. So I'm gonna continue using those in the inside. It's just a little bit quicker, and it's just as strong. All right, guys, so I ended up skipping out on some of the end of the floor video because we had some pretty torrential downpours here. So I ended up rushing and worked in the rain a little bit to get the rest of the flooring in. And this morning we fastened the rest of it down, and that's all good. So we started doing our framing.